Namaskar and welcome to this exciting new episode of Sattology, Debunking Mythology. Today, we are talking about topic which is very, very important for many Americans. Uh, Meditation as a science has come from India, and it is not a secret. In other meditation has existed from time immemorial in human society. It's the first, you can say, it's the first act of introspection and but the science itself has originated in India because of the nature of dharma, Sanatan Dharma. And you can find more details in a book known as from India known as Bhagavad Gita. And it mentions in a very summary form, but there are more detailed descriptions also. But Bhagavad Gita has everything that we need as a human society. So where Krishna says that the best yoga is japa yoga, he says, I am japa yoga, he says. So without delay, let us welcome a great yoga practitioner and a yoga teacher, and also a great friend of mine, Sri Atul Vyas.
Very good morning to all of you and
Good
welcome.
morning. Yeah, and his mother was popularly known as Yoga Mata, where Bill Clinton and Kate Winslet, some Hollywood personalities, used to come and meet her to take her guidance, and they follow a pure tradition. And so it's always good to know a family of yoga teachers, not just one yoga. So can you a little bit tell about your mother, Tulji?
Well, my late mother was the first postgraduate girl of Rajasthan and professor of economics and the first lady yoga guru of India. And she was known as a yoga guru of celebrities and top celebrities from political, film, Hollywood, Bollywood, frequented her and learned from her. And top name, you name it, and we have relations with them. But the only thing is that we kept them secret, and still we are in touch and we are getting all this. So my mother was like that, and she was a Gandhian. She had met Mahatma Gandhi for 13 long minutes as a student and sang a devotional song in his famous evening prayers and led a Gandhian way of life, whole hour of her life, and she never kept more than three pair of clothes till they were torn and led an absolute austere life despite being very well off.
It's a great to know that you have maintained that family tradition, and also I really find your philosophical conclusions very accurate because we discussed in the last time also. Uh, and for viewers, Atulji calls himself yoga scientist because anyone who practices yoga is also a scientist. But this is the first time I ever heard from anyone calling himself as a yoga scientist. What was the reason behind that?
Yes, because there are so many yoga gurus. Number one, I would not I never like to call. I would never like to be called as a yoga guru because guru means the meaning of a guru is huge and it's very deep. So I cannot be a guru. Number one, and because guru, the traits of a guru is guru, as in Sanskrit is called guru shotriya brahmane. Guru must know all the scriptures and he must also have that experience of realizing the Brahma, which I am not. So I never like to be called as a yoga guru. Secondly, there are so many tall claims all over the world yoga gurus were making, and it was bringing bad name to the yoga. So I decided to check myself all the claims made by yoga and from a scientific point of view, very objective, and that made me to call myself as a yoga scientist. And I'm very happy to note that whatever we have found till date, yoga is more relevant than present science. And recently, even yesterday, I was invited to a program of doctors uh, that is known as Swasth Bharat from the government of India. This program is sponsored by the Ministry of Health, government of India, and they invite only doctors. And I was the first non-medico yoga scientist to be invited for this program. And in that program, one doctor of AIMS admitted that during the COVID crisis, they experimented with the doctors. 125 doctors they selected. Two groups they made of 125 doctors, and to one group they taught yoga and pranayama. To other group they just taught physical exercises. And to the great amazement of the medical community, they found that people who were doing yoga, only 10 out of one doctor was contaminated with COVID virus, and in the other group there were 9 out of 10 doctors infected by the COVID during treating the COVID patients. So that's a huge compliment to the yoga. And he himself and all the doctors agreed that yoga is a complementary to the medical science, and it's a huge support to the medical science even in the COVID crisis. Aditya.
Uh, 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 Atulji, before I ask you next question, your left hand is coming in front of the camera.
All right.
Okay. So glad that you mentioned that, and recently we saw the Indian Medical Association opposing Ayurvedic medicines on COVID-19, and you must have seen that in the Indian media. Uh, and that was a little bit surprising because Ayurveda also comes from India, and it also very closely connected with yoga. Do you have any comments on that? What do you think of that?
No, true. Yes. Medical people are very right to say so, because the present Ayurveda is very different from the original Ayurveda. In original Ayurveda, the medicines were never made in the form of tablets. Number one, because every individual was treated very differently from others, and medicines were made fresh by grinding according to the prakriti of that person. And they were never in the form of tablets, because when you make in the form of tablets, you are following the medical science. And secondly, how you can quantify the problem with the medical world is that they are in a hurry to make money, so they have just arbitrarily quantified the medical medicines, 50 gram, 500 gram, 250 grams, because without knowing the capacity, my mother passed because of she was given a very high potency painkiller by my cousin who was a doctor, and she had never taken a medicine and she did not check the background. So Ayurveda people in India today, they are making they are following the medical path of making money. Therefore, the medical council is very right in their estimation that the tablets and the medicine made of COVID virus by the Ayurveda is not at all correct if they have found it not up to the mark.
Yeah.
You know, this is very important to tell you to
Com-
note.
Coming back to our topic of japa, and which is a predominant need today because of the COVID-19, and because of the kind of depression or the hopelessness that is coming in a big way. And so, what is japa according to you? I'm myself a practitioner of japa yoga, mantra meditation. I've been doing it since a very long time, more than 30 years now. And so what according to you is one thing I can tell you with my experience about japa is the single most powerful way to remain productive. And people ask me how I work so long hours, and I'm always motivated to do something positive. And I never, everyone faces setbacks, and I have faced a lot of setbacks, like everyone else does. But I keep going on. If something doesn't work, then something else comes. But the strength comes from the chanting of Hari's names, which I have been constantly engaged for from since childhood. So, but according to you, from the yoga perspective, what is the importance of japa?
You know, when everything fails, allopathy, naturopathy, homeopathy, all kinds of pathies, if they fail, when nothing works, when there is complete hopelessness, then only one pathy works, which is called name pathy. That is japa yoga. That is, I am convinced. Number two, japa yoga is basically consciousness when it manifests itself. It manifests itself in two forms: sound and light. And the mantra yoga, we chant mantras, that is called japa yoga, is one of the manifestation of the consciousness to activate the consciousness. The the main purpose of mantra yoga is to meet to make the lower consciousness of the human being meet the higher consciousness, and that is through sound and light. And there are very specific ways to do japa yoga. Japa yoga is basically mantra is a vibration, and when this vibration, every individual has a also a vibration which is called key vibrations of a particular individual. When that key vibration meets the vibration of the mantra, there are so many mantras, then everything clicks for that person. So you have to, and there is one mantra: Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. That is called maha mantra. That doesn't need it. Everybody and anybody can chant. And there is, one should do a thing when there is no harm. There is no harm in chanting. So the japa yoga is one of the most powerful yoga. Even Lord, as you said, Lord Krishna has said in the yajna, in all the yagyas, I am the japa yajna. So japa is the manifestation of consciousness through sound and light, and meeting the lower consciousness with the higher consciousness. Aditi ji.
So in Maharashtra, Sant Tukaram gave us Jai Jai Ram Krishna Hari, and which Varkari Sampradaya. I mean, if anyone sees their chanting, the way they chant and dance with the kartal, and they do it for since last 500 years, ever since Sant Tukaram taught that. And even Guru Nanak, who was given Diksha by Nityanand, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's elder brother, and Naam Japna, he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 1 month in Jagannath Puri, and the Naam Japna became introduced in Sikhism through Guru Nanak, but ultimately came from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And but we have seen that uh, you mentioned the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which was popularized in the West by Srila Prabhupada, ISKCON.
Yes.
And so it's such an amazing impact on the mind. Like in every morning, you do 1 or 2 hours, or based on your time, maybe you can do means 108 one mala, 108. But why specifically the names of Krishna, Ram, and Hari?
Very simple. They are name of the divine consciousness. They invoke divine consciousness. The test is very simple. You sit down and chant, say loudly Coca Cola, Coca Cola, Coca Cola, Coca Cola for 15 minutes. Say Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram for 15 minutes, and see the difference yourself. What is the difference? You will realize yourself. There is no point in explaining it. Proof of the pudding is in the eating.
That's right. That's right. Great way you put it out, because ultimately you'll get tired of it. Uh, Even the most popular music today, if you play, and you will get tired of it, because you get bored of it. Sometimes that same music, therefore you get bored with it, and you give up. You want to have a new music now. So every year you have pop charts. But this mantra people have been chanting for thousands of years. It's not just ISKCON mantra. It is from Kali Santaran Upanishad. And so people have been chanting for thousands of years, and they never get bored. And that's why it's a science. It's not something religious proselytization. So how do you connect it to science then with this mantra meditation?
See, vibrations, you know, in this, if you take a electron microscope and look at the wall, what do you see? You don't see the wall. You see small atom vibrating. This entire universe is vibrating. The galaxies are vibrating. The planets are vibrating. The stars are vibrating. Vibration is the basis of life. So when you vibrate at a desired frequency, even your mind has got 9 layers. Like when in the sea you go down deep in a sea at I think 20 feet or 100 feet, you don't listen to the waves on the surface, and the temperature is different, the ethos is different. Further you go down, again the temperature varies, the oxygen level varies. So there are different layers even in the sea. Similarly, in the mind, there are 9 layers. And when you chant a mantra repeatedly, a sound vibration repeatedly, they make groove in your brain and mind. With the latest theory in neurology about the plasticity of mind, that is, the mind is plastic. It is not solid as it was believed earlier. So now, and the medical science says that mind can change its shape through various means, and sound is one of them. Doctors have cured dyslexia through sound. Uh, this thing. This is a scientific study I have got. So what I mean trying to say that scientists have proven that positive thoughts, why they change your life. The positive thoughts, they change the shape of your brain, and when the shape of the brain changes, your destiny changes. So mantra changes your shape of the brain. Therefore, it transforms you inside out. I have realized it. You wean away from the bad habits. You wean away from drug addiction. You wean away from drinking. You wean away from the bad habits, and go uh, to the good virtues. So mantra is. I have explained how it is transformative. I have connected with the science, and rest is proof of the pudding is eating. We have got very scientific approach to how to do a mantra, when to do a mantra. There is called there are treatises written on jap yoga, 8 volumes. It's so detailed you can't believe it. We have got 4 types of the sound, vakari, and all that. Three types we can recite a mantra. There are 14 types of mantras. There are male mantra, there are female mantra, there are neutral mantras. It's a very detailed science. So it is not simply just you chant, you pick up any mantra and start chanting. If you chant a mantra with bhava, with purity, at a particular time, especially the sandhyas, when sunset and sunrise, even at night when two times meet, there are 4 sandhyas. It is the mysterious effect and very pronounced effect. See, this is all one has to try, and they are very healing. They are very uh, uh, dispelling the depression and negativity in your life and removing all the hurdles in the life. But if you are not successful in chanting a mantra, then you should keep on chanting because you need a larger dose. That is very important. There is a story when Kabir Das ji's son Kamal went to a patient of leprosy and told him to recite Krishna's name and he will be cured. And when that rich man chanted Krishna's name, he was not cured. He came back to Kabir and said, "This has happened. He is not cured." Then Kabir beat him and said, Why? He said he chanted for an hour. He said, no, there is no need. Two chants are enough. Go and beat him on his head and then ask him to stand in the Ganges and chant twice only. He did it and he got cured. So, point is this: who says and how it says and when it says and how you do it. This is very important for a mantra to be successful. Even though if you recite it mechanically, you are bound to get benefit. Aditya ji.
You did mention about maha mantra. Maha mantra means the best or the greatest or the topmost mantra.
Yes,
And because people are generally confused, like you just mentioned, 8 types of mantras are there, and so
14,
which one to
14.
choose? 14 types mantras, and which one to choose? Very difficult, and which guru to get from. But when you mention maha mantra, then means that it has to be the topmost mantra. And generally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said very clearly, he said, Eti Shodashaka Namnam Kali Kalmashanashanam Nato Partava Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. And that is
True.
the opinion of all the Veda. And it's mentioned Kali Santaran Upanishad that this 16 syllable Shodashaka Namnam, 16 names of Hare Krishna Mahamantra has the power to cure all the bad effects of Kali Yuga, which we are living, the age of
Yes,
parlor and
yes.
hypocrisy, which you see everywhere. And some Indian scholars, they say Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Some people say Hare Krishna first. It doesn't matter. First, because once you repeat it, it automatically becomes which one becomes first. It gets replaced. So, so why it is Maha Mantra according to you?
See, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that when Lord Krishna was leaving this world physically, then he said that I am putting all my powers in this Mahamantra. It is not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but it was Lord Krishna who put all his powers in this Mahamantra. Therefore, it is called Mahamantra because it is infused with so much energy. Mantra is what? It's energy, form of energy. So, uh, different mantras exhibit different consciousness, levels of consciousness. All the Devi Devtas are what? They are basically different consciousness taking a human form. I will tell you about a very wonderful experiment long back in France, long back, by Mrs. Hughes Watt. What she did, she made an instrument and in which there was a tube and there was a receiver and the very thin membrane was put at the end in a horizontal way. And whenever you make a sound, and she kept some dust or tiny particles on that membrane. Whenever you pass a sound, those tiny particles would take a shape. That she found that the sound has got shapes, form, name and form. Sound, a particular sound, if you repeat, it takes the form, particular form, and that is Devi Devta. Secondly, when a hymn to marry was sung, surprisingly, the tiny particles took the shape of Mary holding Jesus in her lap. There was a Bengali man who sang the hymns for the Lord Bhairav, whose vehicle is dog. And to the surprise of people, the tiny particles took the shape of Bhairava and a dog. So what I am trying to say, the mantras evoke a certain form, and that form is called Devi Devta, and that Devi Devta fulfill your wishes or help you to go towards divinity, spirituality, or to fulfill your worldly wishes, whatever you are doing a mantra for. and that is scientifically proven long back in France. Aditya ji.
No, very well explained, Atulji. Another thing which comes to mostly with Americans, because they identify Hare Krishna as a American religion now. So so if you go to Europe or anywhere else, they because of ISKCON's work, it was started in New York. But the problem with the most of the Americans, they get carried away with lot of yoga gurus. Each one of them introduces something else, and while denouncing someone else, which is so what do you say to those people?
Oh, if you really do yoga, you can only have one feeling of love. Trust me. I was, I'm very honest. I was born in a joint family of 40 people, and my father was taking care of them. And my father was always busy for the, feeding this, and my mother was taking care of these people. So everybody treated them as a father and mother, but they had their own father and mother. The nutshell is that I lived in a very hostile environment when I grew up, and as a result, despite being yoga, I was, always, full of hostility for others, and very being a pitta person, I'm very competitive. But since I've started japa yoga, there is a transformation within me that whenever I see a person, I feel very love, send love to him. I feel very friendly to that person. Earlier, I was always hostile and finding faults with that person, any person I'm meeting, or you know, thinking them like that. So, if you are doing yoga, real yoga, you cannot denounce a person. You can't be hostile to anybody. This is basic tenet of result of doing yoga. And if you are doing japa yoga, then it is impossible to not to love others. Aditi ji.
So this is the best platform of unity, actually human unity, you can say, the
Of
best
course,
platform.
Vasudev Kutumbakam, Kutumbakam. There
So
cannot be any division in this. There is unification.
so you can be belonging to any faith, you are any culture you can be, but you can all chant the maha mantra, uh, and you can immediately have a human unity in a way.
See, it evokes love, and love unites, to be honest. Yoga and japa, it invokes love. Trust me. There was a lady, and no, there was a couple, Indian couple from Massachusetts, and they shifted to India. They came to me, and I asked them the reason, and the guy was a vice president in a very big this windmill company, wind energy, and the lady was a molecular biologist from this Massachusetts MIT, but they had to shift to India. When I asked them, they told me that that lady had a 1 month old child, but she never felt any love for the child, and the man could not talk because his jaw would I mean would open and would not come down, and since he was in marketing, he had to leave the job. So when I told them certain kind of meditation and japa yoga, you will be surprised and happy to know they are back in US and living very happily ever after. And the lady is loving them, loving her son, and the mind can communicate and do marketing, all that. Aditi ji.
it is so well, and I think you are advocating it in a very independent way, because you yourself have teach yoga, all varieties of yoga, and you are recommending japa yoga as the best yoga. And you also say that this is the ultimate platform of building love. I wonder why the United Nations has not yet discovered it, because United Nations has been trying to quell. The purpose of UN was to remove or wars, and build a common unity amongst all nations. And I wonder if United Nations ever listens to our conversation and adopts it as a single uniting principle.
Well, United Nation is a ploy for selling arms, creating insecurity in the garb of, world peace. If you see their actions, they have nothing to promote equality, love among the human being, compassion among the people. So I myself honestly very much doubt right from the beginning. If you see their actions, they are unfair, they are partial, and their real objective is not to foster peace and love in the world. Aditi ji.
No, you said it so well. I mean, politicians from all sides in all the countries, they're trying to unite people, but they don't know the secret. And I think this is one of the most important discussions we ever had on this channel. And uh, it's a very simple way. I think the trust will develop when all of us focus on removing our animosity in our heart due to our own weaknesses, not due to others. And according to you, japa yoga is the best possible way to remove the insecurities within the heart, weakness within the heart and in our mind, and to build a common global community. What do you say on that, sir?
Of course, because japa yoga activates our consciousness. It develops the consciousness which is full of love. Human consciousness, see what? God, in our Hindu method, philosophy, God has everything. God can give you everything. But one thing he doesn't have is love. He only wants love, satsanga. Even Lord Krishna has said that I don't need anything, this and that. Gopis are most dearest to me because they offer me pure love. They don't know anything. They don't do any yoga, Sankhya yoga, ritual, nothing but love. So love is the most foremost form of worship, prayer in all the religions. If any religion cannot foster compassion, love, brotherlyhood, then that is not a religion. That is a military regime, in my opinion. That is so, Aditi.
The politicians, philosophers, and all kinds of intelligent people, they run so many organizations in the name of philanthropy and charity, and trillions of dollars are used for charity and medical research, and people are using their billions of dollars to cure diseases. But the biggest disease in the heart is greed, lust, envy, anger, and pride, which is the root
Absolutely,
cause of all the differences, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
And the only solution there is japa yoga, according to me and according to you. Uh, and uh, and and we miss out this single most and the simplest formula available for a global peace and harmony. you know what kind of intelligence we are talking about? What has happened to the brains of so many bright people, according to materially bright people? And why do they miss out this single most important thing, according
See,
to you?
actually, we have to give them. We have to. We have to promote. We have to tell them to try this. See, we are not saying. We are saying, try, sir. take, I mean, you try this and see the difference in yourself. In one of my very famous TV talks, I had recommended Prakshasana, three pose for all the politicians in the world. You know why? Prakshasana develops Deya Vritti, that vritti, that propensity which gives only, which loves to give, which only gives. It gives us oxygen, it gives us shelter, it gives us shade, it absorbs carbon dioxide, it gives us food, it photosynthesizes, it brings rain, what not. And what does it want from us? Nothing. So Vrakshasana should be practiced by all the citizens so they develop their vritti to give only and not to take. Here it is different. And if this Vrakshasana is done with Japa Yoga, if you remember Hiranyakashyap did his Japa by in this Vrakshasana pose, and he got Siddhi, though his aim was different, but he got the Siddhi and he got his consciousness developed so powerfully well. So this is Japa Yoga should be tried in hospitals. Sound therapy is there now. People are getting cured by sound therapy. Why not? Japa is being done in form of rhythm, sound. It can be a wonderful experience. What is rag and ragas? How the music cures? What is Nada Brahma? They are all related to Japa, Aditya ji.
So the combination of Hare, Krishna, and Ram, which is the Maha Mantra you said, and Hare means of Hari, right? Hare Sanskrit means Hari, is a vocative for Hari,
Yes.
and Krishna and Ram. So, what is the power in these three words?
See, if I explain, I can talk and talk, but the best part is one should experience themselves. One should experience themselves. They should chant it for a month. Every 1 hour in the morning, 4 to 5 a.m., and in the night, in the evening with the sunset. And they will realize that they should write everyday experience. They should make a ledger and then believe us. I always say, don't believe me. Never believe what I say. Because whatever I say, I have experimented with that. And I talk on the basis of my experiment. I don't talk on the hearsay what yoga claims or japa yoga claims. There are so beautiful techniques. For example, I tell you, there is a technique called Ardha Mantra. In that techniques, what we do, that there are 9 layers of mind. What we do, that we pick up a smallest mantra, say Om, and we say loudly Om. In a duration, we define the duration of saying Om. Say, suppose I say Om, I mentally note down the duration. Then in next chanting, I do the chanting in the half of the time which I did it, and then I keep reducing my duration by half till 9 steps. You try it now, and you will be into a deep meditation. So there are different techniques of japa yoga. I have just explained one. There are one step. There is another technique. I mean, I can go on and on with this, but what I want to say is japa yoga is worth trying, and I will recommend through your program that it should be tried in hospitals. It should be tried with patients. It should be tried. There is no harm. They can sit and chant and see the difference it brings to their lives.
Yeah, and it's a science. You said it has nothing to do with religion.
It's
People,
pure energy. It's pure energy, sir. Vibrating energy.
so Hari means Hare means of Hari. Krishna is Krishna. Ram is Ram.
Yes,
The proof of pudding is in the eating. Experience it. That's what makes it
of,
science.
of course.
And So the earlier you repeated this mantra for people, just for the benefit of viewers. Can you repeat that, please?
Which one?
This mantra, Maha Mantra, can you repeat for the users, for the
Hare
listeners?
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. If
Beautiful.
you sing it, it is beautiful, you know.
And you never get tired.
No, you get energized. What do you mean, sir? I've been telling you, it's energy. It's a pure energy. You get energized. What do you mean by tired?
Or even bored.
You get evolved. You love it. You go deeper and deeper and deeper. You don't want to come out of it. It is like drug addiction, trust me. Once you taste it, you'll never leave it.
And that's the best way to become high.
Of course, of course. I have never done anything wrong in my life. I have never tasted beer or cigarette or never drunk anything. No, not done anything wrong. But I am always high after Japa Yoga. I'm so happy always. For no reason. People say, why you are happy? I'm single by choice. And people say, why, how you are happy? I said, that is Japa Yoga. For no reason. You are happy, you are loving people, you are happy, you are helping people. You know,
And
it's so beautiful. You send love, you get love.
in California, and I call it California many times, the
Sorry.
drugs have been legalized. And so people can buy online their billboards, they can buy marijuana, weed, whatever they want, and delivered at their home. And then they people the actually the calls to the police have increased, not decreased. And the police is busy in I would say useless pursuits, because this is legalized, and the police forces have not been increased. So that kind of freedom, people call it freedom, is actually putting strains on state resources. And but here we are proposing an alternate. We are saying that without any kind of this kind of intoxication, you can get spiritually, philosophically, consciously high and spiritually advance through this japa yoga by chanting the maha mantra. Isn't that a better choice?
I will give you one example. One day, a 6 feet tall, very handsome, tall and handsome man came to me, young man, 28 years. He said, sir, I want to commit suicide. I did not know him before. I said, who stops you? Why you come to take my permission? I don't know you, but why you want to do it? He said, I am addicted to drinking alcohol. He was a pilot trained in South Africa. He was an Indian, of course, living in Jaipur. And he said, I have tried my level best. I have gone everywhere, but I could not get de-addicted. So, sir, you are the last hope. Can I be off from the this drinking alcohol? Because right from my when I wake up to the time I sleep, I'm drinking, and drinking. I'm not able to do any job. I'm a qualified pilot, commercial pilot. You know, along with many other, few things, I gave him a seed mantra, bija mantra for Muladhara. And in 28 days, and I wrote it in my columns in a very prominent newspaper in India, which I am a columnist on yoga for last 14 years, about this incident. And he quit drinking after that. And now he's a pilot with the Pacific, Asia Pacific. So japa seed bija mantra is very powerful. When you sow a good seed, you get flowers all around. So japa yoga is something wonderful and multifaceted. Actually, people take drugs because they feel empty within.
Hello.
and japa fulfills it.
Yes. Sorry about that, Atulji.
No
And
problem.
so, uh, one of the this is my last question is, and for this show, and for viewers who are watching it, do comment on YouTube so that we hear you. So one of the incidents that I faced personally, and I've been promoting this japa yoga for a very long time in the US, and we have a website called everydaychant.com. For 14 years we have been running it, and it has got a huge following in North America, where morning and evening people join to do japa. That's the only purpose of this website, everydaychant.com. And it's a global japa service. It is free, organized by us, free for last 14 years. And the experiences that I hear from people, like, this japa has saved my life. It has changed my perspective. And I'm a living, because I myself practice this, and I'm a living testimony to the fact that people have been addicted to all kinds of bad habits, and they have given up by doing this japa.
Yes,
So,
I told you this. I told you this. Yes.
people have come with all
And
kinds
one
of
more thing.
problems.
One more thing. If you mix japa with pranayama, for example, take a breath from the left. I will explain you for one very quick point. If you take breathe from the left, say ra, then out ma, ra, ma, or any om, whatever. See the difference. Second point, when you there are four stages of japa yoga, but I will mention one thing. In breathing, why thoughts enter us, why thoughts negative or positive come to us, that the pause between the two breaths are the doorway of thoughts entering our mind. If you can block this doorway, if you don't give a pause between the inhalation and exhalation, no thought can disturb you or torment.
What an amazing
Uh,
secret, in
this
yoga.
is
So, Atulji, thank you so much. And I think viewers loved this
these
conversation.
are all scientific research I have done.
And this has been the most amazing discussion we had on yoga ever on this conference. And thanks to you, you brought up this topic. I did not prod you. You came on your own on this topic. And
Because I love this japa yoga, and yoga, this is the most powerful form of yoga ever invented on this earth. Thank you.
and for viewers, I never asked him for this topic. It was came from his own heart. And I think probably he also did not know that I have been practicing this for many years. Atulji, right? So it was an impromptu
I did not know.
discussion.
No, no.
Yeah, it's an
Of course,
impromptu
of course.
discussion. So it's an independent validation from Shri Atul Vyas ji.
Last point. Mantra yoga is not verbally you are chanting mantra. The best japa yoga is being aware of your mantra. We are awake, but we are not aware. We sleep, we are not aware. We eat, we are not aware. If you do mantra with just aware, be aware of your mantra. Don't chant, don't sing, don't anything, and see the difference. How quickly it transforms your life. This is, I can go on and on, Aditya, but I love yoga. I'm so blessed that my mother give me a field which I am want to, after which I'm sure I will not be coming back to this earth again. Thank you.
And with that, I'm going to come up with the next topic, very interesting, and how to leave karma bandhan. And Atulji, you and I will discuss that because it relates to this. You just mentioned the
Oh.
last sentence.
Karma
And
rekh guru. There is a saying, Karma rekh guru gupt mitave, deke shav updesh, nityanand dikhawate leela jame tam nahi lesh. So that
very
is
true.
the way to eat it. Thank you, Aditya ji, and
Thank you.
good night. Very good morning to all the viewers. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Namaskar.